Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to a movie film commentary track. My name is Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy?
Brian, it's hard to believe, but we have not done a commentary for this movie.
I can't believe it. Out of the at least, 20, 30 we've done?
Oh, we've done more than that. We've done 50 plus.
Have we really?
Yeah.
50? Oh, wow. Every time you mention this movie, I'm always like, are you sure we haven't done this one? I can't believe we haven't done this. And the reason being, it is so beloved by us, to the point where we joked on our last episode that I started looking up facts and trivia and things about this, and I was like, wait, I already know all this. This is like the first commentary I don't need to brush up on, and you made the brilliant joke saying it was like Luke turning off his targeting computer. I was like, yeah, that's basically it.
That's what this is.
I'll just use the Force, and we're going to enjoy this.
Well, we are here to talk about the original Back to the Future, which celebrated its 35th anniversary this year.
Wow. I mean, it's crazy because I have memories of seeing this in the theater, and it's also crazy to me this morning because as I was taking the Blu-ray off the shelf, the front of the case says 25th Anniversary Edition.
Right.
It's just weird that the Blu-ray, which I still think of as new.
Yep.
Sorry, this is already 10 years old. Wow.
Yeah, if you remember, you and I watched this together when they re-released it.
Yes, theatrically.
At the end, that was 10 years ago already.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. So we have lots to say about Back to the Future. Anyone who listens to this show, I'm fairly certain, has a pretty good indication of how much we adore not merely this film, but this entire franchise. And so this is, for us, this is, hopefully we'll drop some trivia and whatever. I mean, it's what we do. But really, it's just a chance for the two of us. It's an excuse for us to watch this movie together again.
This movie is just pure joy to me. So yeah, I can't wait to kick back this Saturday morning and watch this with you.
Well, with that, let's take a short break, and then we can come back and watch Back to the Future. And we are back and ready to go. So if you want to watch along with us, you certainly can. I have a feeling many of you who listen to this show don't need to watch Back to the Future again to experience it, because it's just imprinted on the inside of your eyelids.
Mm-hmm. You're in good company.
Right, exactly. So we have queued it up. If you want to stay in sync with us, we are queued up to just before the classic Universal logo. So the old timey logo that goes through space and it lands on the Earth, and it says Universal and MCA Company. That's where we are going to start from. So if you want to watch along with us, queue it up to just before that, the black before that, and then we'll go from there. So Brian, you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right. So here we go. On 3. 1, 2, 3, play.
Alrighty.
There it is.
Classic. It's kind of funny. You wonder before they had, computers making these logos. Like, what is all that? Like, is that some guy with a globe with like a black glove just slowly spinning it?
It's a lot of compositing.
Well, I saw when I was Googling Back to the Future, just looking for thises and that's, I saw a quote from a review come up, and it's from Adam Smith at Empire magazine, and he said, to put it bluntly, if you don't like Back to the Future, it's difficult to believe that you like films at all. So we'll just start it with that, because I have to agree. I'm not putting a challenge out there, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who hasn't liked this movie.
Yeah.
And maybe not to the degree that we do, but I don't know how you leave this movie after the excitement and thrill and pathos of it all at the end and just not feel great. And I think that's why I love it so much. This is just an absolute feel-good movie.
And you know what's sort of amusing to me this many years later is for a movie that is so rooted in time, not merely the mechanics of time travel, but the specifics of when it is set. So 1955, 1985, and yet here we are 35 years removed, and it is so timeless.
Isn't that wild? I was thinking about that. I mean, 1985 is a firm dated fixture point of this movie.
Yes.
But it's not alienating, right? I mean, you can imagine, like, you think of a movie like Valley Girl or something, you know,
Right.
and it's not like they're showing off the 85-ness to some alienating degree, even though they do to a point, right? Where it's an old cafe is now a jazzercise studio and those sorts of things. But,
Right.
But we still have Burger Kings and we still, kids still skateboard and yeah, 35 years removed. You're right. And it's,
I think to that point, Brian, I think the reason for that is because even when it was made, I mean, obviously you needed the dates as demarcation points, but really, in the shorthand of the movie, it's present past.
yes.
And present past applies whenever you watch this movie.
Right. But you can imagine maybe someone now trying to like put in a Kardashian reference and all sorts
Right.
of cultural things, and I feel like this movie doesn't do that too much.
Even the joke, like in the past, the reference to Ronald Reagan being president and stuff. I mean, the reason it works is because that was the cultural vernacular of the time.
Right.
So it if you were to make it now about 1985, you would really hit that hard.
Right.
An actor, but it's not something that feels unnatural.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right, because it just was.
It just was,
Yeah.
right?
By the way, can we talk about this opening sequence? This is incredible.
Yes.
Like, that's the joke between my brother and I, and we mentioned on the podcast, if you get a few drinks in me, I'll go off about Zemeckis as a director. There's only one cut in there where they do an insert shot for the dog food thing, but otherwise, we've got all these synchronized clocks. Of course, we're setting up the time sort of theme of the movie, and one of the clocks has, I don't know if that's Buster Keaton actually hanging from it, but it foreshadows Doc hanging from the clock at the end. And then we have all that we accomplish in that one shot, where we have the news report talking about the stolen plutonium. We see these newspaper clippings on the wall that Doc Brown, his family, what am I trying to say? The house burned down, so now he's living in this sort of shacky sort of thing, not where he used to be, but inherited all this money. And then Marty comes in and kicks his skateboard, and the camera follows it and hits the plutonium we just learned about on the news that's missing. Like, so much story.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Before you've even introduced your main character.
Yeah. And as I do, I taped a lot of movies off of TV growing up. This is where the edited for television Chiron would show up. After I just have to do this even just for myself when Marty blows the amp.
I was talking to one of my film classes this past week, and one of the points I was making is that the key to unpacking a movie, to decoding a movie, needs to be found within the movie. In other words, everything you need to understand the film should be found within the four walls and the floor of that film. And you can't, and unfortunately nowadays you see a lot of like, oh, well, to understand that you got to watch this, thing, or you got to read this book or whatever. It's like, no, everything should be in the film. And I think Back to the Future is a perfect example of that, because the truth is, within 15 minutes, we know everything we need to understand who Marty is.
Yeah.
By the way, this is just completely random, but as I'm sitting here watching this movie with you and talking, I glance at my pajama pants, and they are Back to the Future pajama pants. I had no idea that I was actually wearing Back to the Future pants.
That is hilarious. And I sit in a room that has a scaled DeLorean time machine model, and I have a hoverboard in my closet. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah. I don't even know where to begin. I have so much to say.
I can hear, we're watching on mute, but I can already hear the Huey Lewis song.
Dun, dun,
Yep.
dun. Okay, so this is a facade in Burbank, Doc's garage there, which has been built into the parking garage of a Burger King that's still there at Magnolia and Victory.
Wow.
I've been there. It is just breathtaking. To someone like me
look at
who
that
grew up
Toys R
just-
Us logo, by the way. Tell me that doesn't just take you right back to when you were a kid.
Yeah, and that Toys R Us is still there, though empty since
Yes.
they've since closed. But now we're back on. Now not back. We're on the Universal lot, so we've made a kind of seamless cut there.
Now, the Mill Valley Hill Valley set was preserved for a while, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah, on tours and
Yeah.
and the clock tower, and also, I mean, this is people who are fans of Gremlins would recognize this too. And Bye Bye Birdie, like a million things.
Yeah.
But there was a fire there. I don't even remember the year. Over 10 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And it ruined the clock tower facade. So I think they've rebuilt it, and it resembles it, but it's not exactly the same.
That's a shame.
Yeah, this is Whittier High School in Whittier, California. I went and saw a concert down there, and I was like, wait a minute. That's where that high school is. So I had to drive by and go check it out. You're gonna hear that a lot. I'm like, well, I drove by there and checked it out. Well, I drove by this too and checked it out.
I'd just like to point out James Tolkien, who plays Mr.
Yep.
Strickland. He was one of those hey that guys throughout the 80s
Absolutely.
and 90s. Whenever I watch any movie or TV show, he shows up, and right away my kids are like, Mr. Strickland.
Yeah, he's so good. I mean, he's so singular, right?
And I mean, James Tolkien is one of a perfect example of an actor who has had a very rich career, right?
Yeah.
As a character actor, but like he is somebody who forever will be known for having played this memorable character in this movie that's now 3.5 decades removed, like
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, and just before we get to this here, but in that hallway scene, I just pointing out Zemeckis' direction. I mean, it's not always flashy; it's calculated, and that there was no cut during that whole thing. And he kept pushing in, and we lose the focus in the background, and we just see the two heads to the point where they comically touch noses. I mean,
Right.
it's just so it's like this. It's almost cartoonish, but it totally tracks, right?
Yeah.
It's so wild. And then, of course, now we're in the tryouts where Marty wants to play for the dance. And
There's Huey Lewis right there.
yeah, Huey Lewis. Which I don't think I knew that till I was older. It's going to be too darn loud. Frasier is too darn loud. And then the guy on bass is Marty's guitar instructor. Re-elect Mayor Goldie Wilson.
Mayor.
So Claudia Wells, we should talk about her. This is her only appearance as Jennifer in the trilogy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of interesting too, because I believe she was cast and then had to leave for some reason due to a television show. And then when Eric Stoltz was brought in, they casted Melora Hardin. Is that her name?
Yeah. Jan
from The Office.
Yep.
And so then when Eric Stoltz was let go, Hardin was too tall for Michael J. Fox, who's about
Yes.
5'5", I think. So they brought Claudia Wells back, who was available again.
Well, I feel like just for the record, so I feel like we have to mention the whole Eric Stoltz thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's. I mean, this is obviously 35 years of hindsight, but how could anyone else possibly have been Marty McFly, right?
No, exactly. And I think they knew that. I mean, he was their first choice.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Right.
He has that comedic energy, the wide-eyed. Like, he can do what we're talking about. Like, this movie is so odd, its tone. Like, it is cartoonish, the way that Doc will run into camera and just shout exposition at you and then run away. And then Marty will come up to camera and look around confused, like, why did he move? And, like, go, like, they just balance that so well. And, I mean, Michael J. Fox just nails it. Right? However, yeah, Eric Stoltz being more the dramatic actor, not sure he was picking up what Zemeckis and Gale were throwing down.
It's unfortunate to me because I think Eric Stoltz is a very good actor.
Yeah.
Very talented. But I feel like, I mean, the poor guy, he will live with this for the rest of his life. Not so much that he missed out on being in the movie or the franchise, but that he'll always be tagged with that,
Yeah, and I wonder how he takes it because, I mean, obviously he's respected and everyone's happy with how this turned out. He turned out just fine. But I got to admit, when this Blu-ray came out, they showed the first footage we'd ever seen of him playing Marty, like actually moving, like film.
Right.
And I just like, oh, give me more. I got to see this.
Right.
I got to see the alternate universe version of this movie. But I wonder if he's like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
it's a little bit like Dougray Scott,
Right.
who is the almost Wolverine, you know?
Right. But I got to point out this, by the way. I mean, this script is a Swiss watch. Like, you have the Save the Clock Tower woman, so we understand, and it doesn't feel jutted in. It makes sense. She's trying to collect these donations. She hands Marty a flyer. Jennifer isn't staying at her normal place. She's staying at her grandmother's, so she has to give him a phone number so we can get the I love you, which will come up later, why he'd hang on to it, why he's got the prop that Doc can see to know that there's going to be lightning at a specific time. It's perfect.
Right.
It's perfect. And it just feels so organic,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I was reading somewhere where they were interviewing Gale, I think, asking if it was fun writing the script. And he's like, no. Like, it was really hard. You know? And they make it look like it was effortless.
And I mean, speaking of Bob Gale, you know, worth pointing out how all of this started with him looking at his
Yeah.
dad's old yearbook and being like, I wonder if we would have been friends.
Yeah, I think he saw that his dad was class president, which he would have never done himself. And he was like, been friends with my dad. And I guess he gave that idea or told that idea to Zemeckis, and he's like, hold the phone.
Yeah. And you know, suddenly a franchise is born, right? Who'd have thunk?
Yeah. And this scene's interesting, too. I mean, you have Crispin Glover here and Thomas F. Wilson, and they're in this old age makeup. I would say, by and large, looks pretty good.
I think
In
so.
the high definition, you can see the seams more than you've ever seen in years previous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you see... It's almost jarring seeing Crispin Glover as like a young man because he's got this like baby face almost.
Right.
And here you're like, oh, no, yeah, all right. I kind of buy it. You know? Like, it's not ridiculous. It's just body language. I'll run it on over tomorrow.
He's such a dork.
So good. That laugh.
I mean, you know what's funny, though, is I'm at the point in my life now where I wonder, like, what do my kids think of me?
That's right. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because anyone who watches this, they are the Marty in their story, you know?
Oh, totally. Exactly. And such a classic line here, you know, what are you looking at, butthead? You know, and it's so funny. That's the other interesting balance of this movie is that, you know, Zemeckis and Gale had a hard time selling this movie because it was a little too PG for the times. You know, comedies were really raunchy, like Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds. And so it wasn't raunchy enough for some studios, and it was just too edgy for Disney.
Yeah.
And it just rides this weird sort of middle ground. You know, you can imagine where he'd be like, what are you looking at, dipshit?
Right.
In
Yeah.
some other movie. But here, Butthead is so, like,
It's the perfect.
PG, but it's perfect. It's so perfect. And I think that's why this movie endures, honestly.
And I mean, it tells you something about how it reset the temperature for what we kind of expect from a family movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Real quick, I think this is worth pointing out for people. So you have this hard cut on this peanut brittle going into a bowl and Marty looking at it sort of forlorn. Mm-hmm. And that comes from a deleted scene where Marty's talking with his dad and saying that, you know, don't be such a pushover. And he's like, I'm not a pushover, his dad. And then this Girl Scout and her father show up at the door selling peanut brittle. And he says no. And then the girl's dad is like, come on, McFly. And then you just cut to him pouring this peanut brittle into the bowl. And Marty like, ugh. And then also interesting is we should talk about, you know, Michael J. Fox's crazy schedule on this.
Yes.
So a lot of this scene around the table was shot without him, as they had to do in many, many scenes. And then they would cut to inserts of him or wide shots with him in it because basically he was not on loan, but he was working in tandem with Family Ties, which wouldn't let him go in the first place when Gale and Zemeckis wanted him because he was on a hit show. He was in, you know, they had their own sort of, you know.
It's crazy how, I mean, they went to Gary David Goldberg, who was the producer of Family Ties, first.
Yes.
And they were like, you know, would you let him do this? And And basically, he put the script in the drawer, and he's like, "There's no way I'm going to let him do this." Mm-hmm. Right? And
Yeah.
so meanwhile, Michael J. Fox is finding out about this Back to the Future movie. He has no idea that they want him. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, essentially, you know, they extracted this kind of ridiculous schedule, which, I mean, Michael J. Fox was what, probably in his early 20s when he made this?
Yeah, maybe like 22 or something.
You know, and you know, the schedule was such where, yeah, mornings here, nights there, sleep basically on the car ride back and forth. And as a 40-year-old now, I'm like, that sounds like just the worst thing in the world, you know?
Yeah, it sounds like that machine that takes years off your life from Princess Bride, basically. Like, you know? But yeah, I mean, can you imagine that he did Family Ties during the day, and then I guess Back to the Future from, I saw somewhere, like 6:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., slept for a couple hours, went back to Family Ties, and then he worked on weekends as well.
Like, that's like what you do if you're a medical resident, you know?
Right. But I mean, thank goodness he was able to do it. I mean, this is his legacy, so to speak, you know?
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when you look at Michael J. Fox, he has been blessed with an extraordinarily successful career. No one would deny that.
Yeah.
And yet, even still, the Back to the Future franchise remains kind of the crown jewel in that.
Yeah. And being, I mean, one of the most beloved movies of all time, which I don't know that it would be received the same way without
him. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Zemeckis was, like 2 months into filming with Eric Stoltz.
Yeah.
And he had the recognition that this is not working.
Yeah, and not to go like, okay, I'll make this work. I got to call this out here. Marty skateboarding down that, you know, entrance to this mall. My brother and I went to this mall months ago. And I've been many, many times back since. But we skateboarded that exact, like, kind of zigzaggy route down that thing. And I mean, that was my Graceland, Zachy. That was...
Well, you and I went to the McFly house.
Yes, which is in Arleta, California. Maybe like 20 minutes from me. And I've been back, many times. And every time it's just wild. And one time, Federica and I went there, and there was, no joke, a Biff impersonator standing in the driveway.
Really?
Yeah, and it was like, okay, well, we got to get a picture with this guy. I mean, he was dressed in the green jumpsuit and everything from the end of this movie. And he was there. He was a cosplayer, and he was trying to get pictures.
So does the person who lives in that house just have to deal with this day in and day out?
They do, and from what I understand, they are not fans.
Really?
There's a neighbor, I believe to their left, if you're facing the house, who will talk to you and give you photocopied pictures they took during production while it was happening.
Wow.
So they're more than happy to talk to you, but the people who own it, they endure it, but they just ask that you don't walk up their driveway and, you know, get invasive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. But I'm also like, come on, it's the McFly house, you know?
I know. I mean, and you can only imagine. I mean, this movie is, I think it's come back in a certain way, but it's also in other ways never really left the public's consciousness. So yeah, you got to imagine, of all the locations you can drive to, that's probably one that it's always going to get, you know, a couple cars. When I was visiting Chicago a couple years ago, I went to the Home Alone house. Okay. And when we showed up, there were people there, and when we left, more people were coming. I mean, just certain houses are so recognizable that you're just always going to get a steady stream.
Yeah. And it's just a little piece of movie history.
Yeah, and then I was just telling you off air, I mean, I was at this mall last Sunday skateboarding. So it's kind of wild that I've gotten so used to it now in real life, and now seeing it on screen, it just warms my heart so much that it's like getting to go to some sort of fantasy land for me, you know, being
right. You know, it's funny, as we were talking about like movie houses, I was just thinking it'd be funny. You know how the Lars homestead is like still standing in Tunisia?
Yes.
It'd be funny if like some family who has no idea just like moved in there and they're like, oh, God damn it, not again. You know?
You're right. Yeah. That's hilarious.
So, okay,
and just for posterity, I'll just say the Twin Pines Mall. It's the Puente Hills Mall in Rolling Heights.
There you go. So if you're looking for something to put in your Google map, there it is.
Yep.
So the DeLorean, a couple things I want to
Oh,
mention. Number one, I remember watching this movie 10 years ago, 25th anniversary, and my oldest was 3 at the time, and the scene when, the door opens and the DeLorean comes out. I remember him, 3 years old, he kind of like sits up and like,
Yeah.
and that was the moment that he really just fell in love with these films. And, they've just been a part of all my kids' language for as long as they've been alive. But what's extraordinary is how the DeLorean has transcended the sort of ironic humor of its inclusion in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's the joke. You built a time machine out of a DeLorean, right?
Yeah.
Well, the DeLorean is Back to the Future.
Yeah, it is a time machine. I mean, because when you see them on the street, which isn't very often, I mean, it's like, I've said, it's like spotting a unicorn. They're not ubiquitous.
Right.
And I think most people would associate them with this movie versus them being some sort of, unwieldy sports car from the early 80s,
right.
By a guy who got busted for, cocaine transaction.
Right. Yeah, and if you see it without the stuff on it, you're like, well, something's wrong here.
It is. It's missing that sort of the wings, so to speak, of the back. That sort
right.
of cool silhouette that we all know. Yeah, it's
like the DeLorean is like Ecto-1 or
Yep.
the Tim Burton Batmobile or something. It's just one of these like iconic 80s cars that exists within the world of a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And so many people have recreated them, right? So I mean, I remember walking down the street on Ventura Boulevard years ago, and someone had one just parked outside of a place, and he had the door open. You could take pictures, and it always attracts a crowd. Everyone wants a picture with it.
Right.
We should mention here, so at the mall, I mean, we're getting a lot of information here.
Right.
Right. Just talking about it, jumping over the minute and the dog, but okay. So we've kind of gushed over Michael J. Fox, but Christopher Lloyd. I mean, who else?
Right.
Who else could do this and have the manic energy, but also be someone you're not scared for Marty to be hanging around, and to shout this paragraphs of exposition and have it be engaging and like land and make sense to you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, no easy task. And I had read somewhere that John Lithgow was heavily considered, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see that. I see that, but it's just not the same. Not the same. The warmth. He has this warmth too. I get touched every time when they hug at the end. You just believe their relationship.
Yeah.
And that, again, on paper, you can imagine reading this and being like, why is this teenager hanging out with this crazy guy? But in the movie, you're like, well, yeah, they get along so well.
I mean, that's kind of the funny thing is that Marty is like somewhere between 16 and 24. Like he
Totally.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think, the same way I'm saying it's like present and past. It's like young and old. Like he's young. That's what we know. He's not.
Yeah. Yeah. But if we saw, but you buy him as a young person.
Yes.
But if you actually put like a 16-year-old in there, I don't know that it would track exactly the same for all ages, right?
Totally. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks younger than me, but he looks older to your son.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's kind of perfect.
So Christopher Lloyd was like 45 when he was filming this.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Right.
I remember John Mulaney, right, in his special when he's talking about Back to the Future, talking about Marty hanging out with a guy who's either 40 or 70.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't know it till I looked it up. But that was the thing too. Again, growing up, I didn't realize that he's wearing makeup in the 80s to
Right.
make him look older. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where in the second one they have him like he did like a dermal regeneration or whatever, and the real reason is because they didn't want Christopher Lloyd to have to just like have old age makeup on for the whole movie.
Right. Should also point out here too that the car is covered in ice, right? I mean,
Yes.
It's like, hot? No, it's cold. Damn cold. That was an effect that they intended to have every time it time traveled, but it was just so difficult. They're like, screw it.
Just forget about it.
Yeah. Even him just rattling off this old man Peabody.
Yeah.
And he gives this wild stare like, and then walks off screen. So it's funny, but then you realize it's going to pay off, in about 5 minutes.
Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons that this movie is one of those that you can revisit again and again, and you'll find little new stuff,
Yeah, I believe when it when it was being celebrated for its 25th anniversary, a lot of memes were coming out about the Twin Pine Lone Pine difference. And I'm sure I probably knew that because I've watched this so many times, but I remember it being this crazy fact that everybody was freaking out over. And it's just 25 years later, there's just so much that they even thought to do.
Yeah. I mean that's what's so impressive, right? Is they put this extra level of effort in where had they not done it, the movie would probably still have done well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, sure.
And yet, either just by virtue of forethought or just dumb luck, they ended up with something that really withstands multiple viewings. I mean, even the conversations about the mechanics of the time travel and everything. I mean, it's still going on, and that's the fun of it,
Right. Yeah. Again, like my brain is bursting. I don't know where to begin.
When was the first time? When was the first time you watched this movie?
I saw it in 1985 at a second run theater. I saw it at the Wheaton Theater, and I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And I remember it. It's one of my early memories. I remember being with my parents. I remember my uncle was with us. I remember standing in line to get in and looking up at that phenomenal, iconic Drew Struzan poster. And that poster just, evokes so much from me. I remember as a kid borrowing the soundtrack from the library and then trying to draw the poster with like colored pencils, staring at the tape cassette.
Wow.
If I have an office somewhere, if I have a room somewhere, I have that poster. Oh, that's just going to always be there because it's just kind of just sparks something,
right.
in me. And it just makes me happy. You?
So I did not see this until 1990.
Okay, so when the sequels then were available, like you could see all three at once.
I believe the second one was out, and no, you know what? The third one had just come out. Yeah, so I hadn't seen either of the sequels, but I had of course heard of Back to the Future. But I ended up, I was living overseas at the time, so I just didn't get around to it. But I remember very distinctly watching it. I had spent a weekend away and I watched it, and I came very excitedly to home, to tell my brother. So I was 11, he was 16. I'm like, oh, and this happens. I walked him through the whole thing, and Jesus Christ, you just disintegrated Einstein.
Right.
Now, I want to mention here the Libyans.
The Libyans. Who do you think?
Now, as a Muslim, I have to say I'm not a fan of how this movie propagates stereotypes about Muslims being terrorists.
I would say this is the one when you show this to someone for the first time now, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's like the one thing where you're like,
it's a little cringy, yeah.
But yeah, it's relatively speaking, it's a small offense compared to what the 80s tended to do with Arab terrorists.
Sure. Yeah, it is kind of funny if you have to recount this movie. You're like, and then these terrorists show up at the mall, like.
The other thing I think that's so fascinating is that, this is a sci-fi movie in that it involves sci-fi conceits, but it's also not in that the science fiction could just as easily be magic.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a mechanism to tell a humorous story.
Right.
And so I think what that does is it allows the film to have a relatively small scale.
Yes. But it feels big.
Yeah.
Right? And I think a lot of that's the score.
Obviously what Alan Silvestri did something with the Back to the Future theme to make it to really encompass adventure and romance in what is sort of it's like a humorous story.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that dawned on me when I had read somewhere about how many effect shots were in this movie, which I don't recall, but it was like 12. And I was like, what?
Right.
It just feels like there would be so many more, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the ending isn't a special effects sequence. It's like about a guy trying to connect cables, but it feels so big and thrilling and visceral.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Getting ahead of ourselves just because I don't want to forget. But, when you have those guys, the Libyans crash into the photo booth, it feels like, okay, we're done with them. I'm like, no, man, they're still there. They're still the photo booth. I always think that at the end, but I'm like, but the movie does such a good job of just panning the camera. It's like, no, we're over here now. Doc's alive. Isn't that great? This is funny. Looks like an airplane without wings. I mean, this is great, right? I mean, the comic book looks like the DeLorean in their very own barn. Him in the radiation suit.
and I think the tone that Michael J. Fox embodies is so crucial, right? Because as you alluded to earlier, I mean, it's this tightrope that he's not playing it too real.
Yeah.
He is comedic, but he's not mugging.
Right.
And that's something that Michael J. Fox, that is, sort of his unique skill set,
Mm-hmm. It's already mutated in the human form. Yeah. So then we got, gonna kill one of the pine trees. No longer twin pines.
I mean, with that, the fact that we come back at the end and the fact that the sign is now it says Lone Pine.
Yeah.
The camera doesn't zoom in on it.
No. It does the same, sort of panning shot we did earlier, which is also kind of brilliant direction because at first it was him on a skateboard, and then they replicate the shot, but it's Marty frantically running, covered in sweat, trying to stop a tragedy.
Yeah, right.
And
exactly.
then, like you say, they don't there's no even music like twinkle, like billy billy, like
right.
Something's changed. It's just like you see it, you don't.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? It's one of those things where they didn't even have to show that sign. But they made a choice,
Yeah. How brilliant is this, too? Having those cement sort of entrance markers.
Yeah.
That we just saw earlier with him skating through. It's funny. I didn't get this as a kid. Oh, that's funny. That's his house, too. I didn't.
Oh, wow. I did not notice that until just now that you said that.
Isn't that funny?
Holy crap. I've seen this movie a million times. Just now I realized that's his house.
There's always something. I never quite got why that woman was freaking out. And I think it's because the radiation suit, right? That was like a big deal, like fallout and everything.
I'm assuming, yeah. See, this too, what I love is they're establishing the car trouble here so that in the third act, it's not just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it's so brilliant, too, all the things that need to happen for this machine to work. I mean, that's factored into the plot. Like, you use plutonium, like, well, you're not going to get plutonium back then, so you got to find something equal to it. And I guess we can speak to the different versions of this movie, right? Beforehand, where it used to be he had to go to a nuclear test site.
Right.
So this movie started with him in class watching a film of a nuclear explosion, which was establishing what we needed at the end. There were other versions of this too, where it was going to be a refrigerator at one point.
That's right.
And Coca-Cola was going to be the secret ingredient. And the movie started with Marty bootlegging Close Encounters of the Third Kind, using Doc's place to bootleg movies and sell them to kids at school. That was a version.
So it was that something where Spielberg was like, no.
I don't know. I'm noticing more and more that Spielberg likes referencing himself.
Sure.
So I I wonder if he thought that was funny.
Interesting.
Which, I mean, we can also talk about the Spielberg connection. I mean, Zemeckis and Gale, I think their first break was writing. Was that 1941? Or was it before then they did I Want to Hold Your Hand?
I don't know which one came first. Yeah.
I don't know which one came first, but they wrote 1941 for Spielberg. And then Spielberg produced their first two movies, which was I Want to Hold Your Hand, about these kids trying to see the Beatles that play Ed Sullivan, and then Used Cars, that Kurt Russell movie. And those movies didn't go so great. 1941 didn't do so great. And so Spielberg loved Back
real
to...
quick, I Want to Hold Your Hand was 78, 1941 was 79. So...
Okay, so probably developing at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
But so Spielberg was like, I love Back to the Future. We want me to produce it for you. And Zemeckis was like, we've had so many things go wrong. I don't want it to seem like the only way we're getting movies made is because Uncle Steve is helping me out. And so he went off and did Romancing the Stone while Bob Gale refined Back to the Future. And then eventually they were having a hard time selling it. And Spielberg's like, hey, man, I love that Back to the Future movie. And they're like, all right, fine. Because he proved himself with the Romancing the Stone. Spielberg produces this, and here we are.
And thank goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. But it also, there's so much on screen I want to talk about. But I just want to say real quick, as long as we're talking about refining the script, when you read the earlier versions, I mean, you watch this movie, and it really is, 99.9% pretty much a perfect movie. And there's a lot of reasons for that. The casting, the score, the direction, the whatever. But like the script is, like I say, it's like a Swiss watch. But you realize, when you read these earlier versions, it wasn't always like that. It's encouraging to know that, right? You don't just land on this, right? It takes some work and it takes notes, right? Einstein was going to be a monkey, and Sid Sheinberg didn't change it. He's like, make it a dog. And I think Doc was going to be called like Professor Brown, and Sid Sheinberg was like, call him Doc, kind of a thing. So it's, you refine and you refine, and then you get the shiny, polishy, perfect thing.
Now, this actor here, I want to mention, who plays the soda jerk.
Yep.
He was the voice of Aquaman.
Oh, really?
On the Super Friends animated show.
Oh, funny.
So, kind of little piece of trivia right there.
Yeah. Great visual joke here. With the McFly men in the same pose at the counter with their hands on their heads. Hilarious.
Norman Alden, by the way. That's the guy's name I want to mention.
Nice. Oh, we got to call it that Tab joke. That's very funny. Even though I don't even know if Tab exists anymore, but well, Tab, you got to get something. And Billy Zane back there.
Billy Zane, I was just about to mention, yeah.
Biff should listen to his friend Billy Zane. He's a cool dude. Look at Biff and George. They look so much younger. It's pretty good makeup.
Tom Wilson obviously has to some extent been typecast.
Yeah.
Because of this role. And I think if anything now he's getting a wider variety of roles because of all the people who grew up with Back to the Future.
Right.
But part of the reason he got typecast is he's so good as Biff.
So good. So good.
Like it's this weird, again, we talk about the tightrope, Michael J. Fox. Biff too, right? He
Yes.
is your antagonist, but you have to like kind of like him, not like him, but like find him amusing.
You have to be amused by him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is such a great shot too. With Marty leaning forward, staring at his dad. But yeah, Biff, that character on paper, how do you even explain what he is? Because he is awful, but he's kind of cartoonish, like I don't know how you explain that on paper, but also you gotta get the perfect actor to convey that sort of, you can't help but chuckle at him, but he's the worst.
Right.
But he fits perfectly as the villain in this movie.
Yeah.
But in any other movie, you'd be like, what is this goofy guy? This is great. That's right. You're the mayor.
Mayor.
Yeah. Just fun. Just another one of those set off payoffs.
I mean, it tells you something about how, I mean, you talk about a Swiss watch. I mean, this movie, you teach screenwriting classes using this as an example, you know?
Yep. I got to call out that shot too. I mean, it was great. You follow Wilson with the broom and whatever, and then the camera pans back to Marty, the shot we already saw, and half the frame's empty. George is gone. It's not just like it becomes kind of funny.
Right.
He disappeared. Now this house, also, this disturbing. Dad staring at women through windows.
So
with
George
binoculars.
is a total pervo.
Yeah. This is up in Pasadena, and George's house and Lorraine's house are on the same street.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Again, Federica and I went on kind of a tour of these Back to the Future things. We went up to this place. I didn't see this when I was there, but I saw it on Instagram later. I think someone in the concrete wrote, like, this is the tree George was in, or something, like on the
Really?
curb. But it's one of those things also where, this is a great shot too, right? Where we got Marty down there, and then George pops into frame, and then that's where you realize, like, oh, like some sort of cosmic shift
History has
happened.
changed.
But it's so subtle, but it's so impactful. Like it's you understand it.
But by the way, I love the dad's line. Oh, one of these damn kids fell out of a tree.
Yeah, or what does he say? Another one of those damn kids jumped in front of my car.
Jumped from my car. So this is just a thing that is going on regularly.
And it's funny because you could have had him just say like, "Oh no, kid."
Yeah.
But it's like you throw a joke in there. You get an extra laugh. Hilarious. Now this becomes a trope through all three films, right? Where you got Marty conked out in a bed, and it turns out it's not his mother in the third
Leah
movie.
Thompson.
It's like a Leah Thompson, yeah, whoever she's playing in the film. Hilarious.
Now Leah Thompson,
She's great too, by the way.
She really is, and her daughter Zoe Deutsch is like a dead ringer for her in this movie.
Yeah. You know, I didn't even know that was her daughter. The only thing I think I've seen her in was Zombieland 2, which I watched on an airplane because it was like all that there was. And she is hysterical in that movie.
She's
I looked her up
talented.
because she was so good. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
She steals that film.
It's funny because I saw first time I saw her was in a movie called Everybody Wants Some. I think it's a Linklater movie.
Oh, I never saw that. Is that good?
Yeah, I would recommend. I think you would like it.
I like Linklater movies, yeah.
She's in it, and Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, it's like this next generation movie. Even though
Yeah.
it's set in the era, because it's set in the 80s when the parents were big. You know?
It's like Muppet Babies, but with like Hollywood actors.
Basically.
Yeah.
Now this subplot right here would be part of the reason why Disney took
Disney's like, get out. Get out.
too much of a boy for Crazy Town, too crazy for Boys Town. That was Back to the Future, right? It was just not
Right. You imagine Eric Stoltz playing the scene too, because I love Marty or Michael J. Fox like, fine, good, yeah, fine, good. You know, it just kind of is funny. Eric Stoltz like, what? You know,
Yeah.
just taking it very seriously.
I mean, yeah, I think of Eric Stoltz as like Mask and Pulp Fiction, you know.
Yeah. Again, I mean, a great actor in his own right, but just not the energy of this film.
Exactly.
Look, and just think of like this scene, how much they're able to jam into it, and not. That's the real trick I've learned in screenwriting is that you have what has to happen, and then you have what you would like to happen. And the real discipline of screenwriting is knowing when you have to kill your darlings. And it's like, man, I really, really would love to have this in here, but it's not organic. There's no room. But in here, we need to know that, this is like his mother and the family, and we got to get to Doc so he can ask the dad where Doc's place is. But think of we got the TV, we got his uncle that we know is in jail who likes being in the crib with the bars, and we got the whole rerun joke because the dad was watching Honeymooners earlier and he has 2 TVs in his house. There's just so many quote unquote darlings in this scene that they make feel essential.
Right.
It's part of the fun and it never slows the movie down. Just what a magic trick.
By the way, that Jason Hervey we saw in the earlier shot from
Wonder Years.
Wonder Years as Lorraine's younger brother,
Yeah.
and he's got the Davy Crockett coonskin cap.
Yeah, yeah. What year is this? 1955. So my dad would have been 2 years old here.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
See, my dad is like 46. I think he was born.
Mm-hmm.
9. Jeez.
9. Nice. So he could have been Jason Harvey there.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
The other, speaking of seeding story points, Uncle Joey.
Yes, yes. Yep. Uncle Jailbird Joey.
Get ready. You get used to these bars, kid.
Yeah. So you got to wonder then, a lot of this footage, when he's not in the shot, was this what they did with Eric Stoltz? I mean, I'd have to assume.
Yeah, I mean, they probably didn't reshoot the whole thing, right?
I can only imagine, because what I read was once they started refilming with Fox was they wrapped April 20th, 1985, and this movie came out July 3rd.
Oh,
They
wow.
had 10 weeks of posts on this movie,
Oh, my gosh.
which is unfathomable. Like, now I worked on a movie that had 9 months of post. I worked on a movie that had a year and change in post.
Really?
I mean, 10 weeks? to
Yeah,
get
I mean,
this movie
that's...
into the shape they did?
Well, and I mean, that's hard enough. But then, with 2 and 3, Zemeckis, increased the difficulty level by orders of magnitude.
Yeah.
Because he's, shooting during the day and posting at night.
Yes, right.
2
right.
movies,
Which, by the way, he's always said that he wishes he could have given more attention to the editing of 2, but he was distracted by shooting 3.
Really?
And I would just love to know what he's talking about. What would he have done differently? What would he have put more of, less of? I'd really, really love to know.
Yeah, I mean, you and I, we talked through the second one a couple of years ago, and I mean, I don't see anything wrong with how that movie is put together.
No. Yeah, that's just what I'd be really curious. This is the Gamble House up in Pasadena.
Nice.
It's right near the Rose Bowl. And I was leaving a concert, walking back to my car,
Uh-huh.
and I saw it, and I was like, why do I know that place? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Doc's house. That was crazy. And it was so, my brain was just searching for it. But yeah, so this movie it was supposed to come out in August, and then they had a test screening that went through the roof. And Scheinberg was like, nope, this is coming out July 3rd. So he cut, shaved weeks off of the few weeks they had already.
Wow.
With post. And then it came out and was a enormous hit. Spent 11 weeks at number 1, which is, I mean, now a movie has 1 week or 2 if it's lucky.
Yeah.
Right? 11 weeks at number 1. Ran from July through February of the next year. Was in theaters.
Wow.
And then domestic made $210 million in 1985 money. So who knows? Probably like $500 million, I would assume. And like $380 million worldwide. And now in the time of COVID, it's back in the top 10 of box office because they're putting out library movies, and this is one that's been pretty ubiquitous out there.
Which makes sense. I mean, this has been an annuity for Universal from the moment it was released.
Yeah. Yeah. Popular ride, just also, and I think as we get older, the generation that grew up with it, I mean, I don't think they thought to have action figures back then for this, right?
Right.
But now they do, and they have all sorts of merchandise as we're talking about, and I got the car behind me and.
Yeah, I have hot toys of Marty and Doc from the second one.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And it's funny too, because I mean, it's like I love his shoes, right? He's got these cool 80s Nike things, and Nike realized that they were cool and everyone wanted them again. So they've made them unavailable. And so they put them out, I think, in 2015 as hey, get those old classic Bruins. And they sold out immediately, and now they're on eBay for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And here's
Yes.
the Ronald Reagan joke. Famously, they screened this movie for Reagan in the White House, and he just busted out laughing.
Ronald Reagan, the actor.
Well, that joke was about me.
Yeah. Well, we've done a lot of Reagan lately, haven't we?
That's we're We're keeping the era alive. We're the movie film show is a little bit like Cafe 80s. That's the way.
Yeah, that's right. I just got to call it out. I love that Simpsons joke where Homer wants to listen to his Rappin' Ronnie tape. It's like a novelty rap where Ronald Reagan is singing and he just goes, well, and Homer's like, he did say well a lot. That's one of my favorite jokes. This is one of those things too. So when he's showing Doc where he's hid the DeLorean, he shows him the flux capacitor, which of course makes sense to Doc because he just imagined it. When you see a movie, there's nothing like seeing a movie on the big screen, and you start to notice small things that you've never noticed on TV because you're, so used to it and kind of maybe even giving it 3/4 of your attention. I never noticed here where Doc says, "It works." And Marty goes, "You bet your ass it does." Never noticed that until I saw it in the theater. And then also when when Doc's wearing the radiation suit in the mall, Marty turns to him and goes, "Is that a Devo outfit?" And then Doc's like, "Yeah, stop. Point the camera." Never noticed that until the theater. Sees little lines.
The Devo outfit. That's a great joke. I love that.
Yeah. Is that a Devo outfit?
Look at that camcorder, dude.
I know. Did you ever have one of those?
I did not. It was too expensive.
Same. Yeah, we never could afford one. And I so coveted one because I wanted to be a filmmaker. So my friends had one. So it was a big deal. I'd go over to their house and then I would have a movie in mind to be like, all right. And I'd bring a VHS tape. We'd use theirs.
And you'd edit deck to deck.
Oh my gosh. It was awful.
We're describing just a wilderness that people today.
I know. You can edit on your phone now.
Yeah.
You know what we would do actually? We would cut in camera. So we would stop and know that the next shot had to start immediately after when we hit record again.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I remember going tape to tape, deck to deck, and the nightmare was if you hit stop instead of pause.
Oh.
Because you would lose your control track.
Oh my gosh.
And the
You're
tape
bringing
would
back
roll.
memories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. You'd lose the generation. The tape would look awful.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now it's an app. You download an app for like $5
Ugh,
and just do all that shit in your phone.
I can't even imagine how many more movies I would have made as a kid.
Right?
Yeah. So Gigawatt, right? Is it? I've heard the story that that's how they pronounce it, but it really is Gigawatt. Is that right? I wouldn't know.
I've always assumed it was gigawatt, to be honest.
Yeah. But it's so funny now. You just hear them. Gigawatt. Got a girl. Is she pretty? I love that.
Now think about the fact that we are an hour in before the end goal of the film is fully solidified.
Wow, great point. Great point. I didn't even occur to me, but I'm not bored. It's all propulsive.
We have said this many times, but I distinctly remember watching 10 years ago with you, and when we arrive at the clock tower scene at the end, it's like, oh wow, are we here already?
I have that feeling. Yeah, every time I watch this, it's when he's about to go to the dance, and they've got the DeLorean under the tarp, and like, okay, well here we go. I'm like, whoa, we're here. Yeah. I love this. This music, I can hear it. The dun 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 dun, like the Alan Silvestri. Talk about unsung.
Yeah.
How is he not mentioned in the same sentences as John Williams and Hans Zimmer? Look at Doc pointing at the camera, saying the title of the movie. That's the movie we're watching, and I love it.
By the way, Brian, we got to talk about the preferred title from the studio head.
Do you want to tell that story?
I insist.
Oh, so basically, again, Sid Sheinberg had some pretty good suggestions for this movie. But then one of the ones that wasn't so great was he didn't think that movies with the word future in it would appeal to audiences. So he decided to capitalize on that scene where Marty basically harasses his dad in his bed as the alien. And he says we're going to... Oh, no, wait. Is it from the comic book?
No, it
is from that scene, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically said, let's call the movie Spaceman from Pluto. from some joke that is I can't even correctly remember all these years later. And so they were like, well, what are we going to do? We can't call the movie that. And so Steven Spielberg, being the producer, executive producer, came up with a brilliant plan where he said, I got it. We're going to write him a note, and we're going to say, Sid, we just got your latest suggestion about changing the title to Spaceman from Pluto. We're all having the biggest laugh over it. Great joke. Thanks a lot. You made our day. So they give that, and Scheinberg, ego, humbled, whatever you want to call it, was like, never responded. Never brought it up again. I mean, you could only have Spielberg balls, to do something like that.
Didn't the guy ever have hair?
Yeah.
By the way, worth mentioning, this scene that we're watching here with Doc and Marty, somebody did a deep fake. I'm sure you saw this.
Yes.
Where they took Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
And I'll be damned if the first and probably only time in my life I was like,
I never want to see a remake of this.
Yeah.
Having said that, yeah. I mean, Tom Holland especially, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah.
The fact that a remake or reboot of this has not happened yet is just a testament to the strength of whatever contract Zemeckis and Gale signed.
Yeah. And, it just feels like this movie is, like I said, kind of never gone away. I think people keep showing it to their kids, right? And it keeps popping up in theaters. And, yeah, when you have to choose a movie that is going to draw an audience in a time where they could die going to a movie theater,
yeah,
this is the one they pick, and it appears in the top 10. Like, it just, I don't know. I mean, obviously I could be kind of biased from my age and where I'm standing, but, like, it doesn't feel like this version has ever gone away.
This is true, but that if the path forward was legally clear, Universal would have jumped on this at the first available opportunity.
Yeah, probably. Which, and Zemeckis and Gale have said, literally over their dead bodies. I mean, it can't happen until they're both gone.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, every property is being dug up. And for as much ubiquity as Back to the Future continues to command, if they were able to, they would have done something with it already.
Right.
Our artistic need is very low down in the totem pole when you're talking about an IP like this.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, and I mean, it's worth pointing out, there's a 30-year gap between 85 and 55, and so now, as we're recording, that would be 1990.
Yeah.
So you have a kid from 2020, I guess, who's used to his phone and Fortnite and whatever, and then goes back to 1990, which, obviously it is drastic. I mean, being alive for it, I guess to me, it just feels like 85 to 55, there are things that could bewilder a kid a little bit, you know? And in my head, I'm like, well, I was alive for all that, so I don't know. Like, I saw it all happen. But I guess, yeah, I mean, if someone... what do you think? If your kid, your oldest, went back and didn't have the internet, didn't have the comforts of today and went back to 1990, I mean, would he be as bewildered, or would he be like, well, it kind of sucks, but I mean, we do have VHS and we've got Star Wars. And
I don't know, because they have been exposed to so much popular culture of the last 30 years.
Right. Like by you, or has it sort of remained in the ether a little bit?
I mean,
Fresh Prince is like a selling point for HBO Max.
Yeah, Friends,
and that was on in 1990.
Friends, Seinfeld, all these shows still remain in the zeitgeist, and yeah, I mean, it's different, right? It's I think, like in this, using pop culture as an example, you have The Honeymooners, right?
Yes.
But that was old. It was black and white,
Yeah.
And so there was more of a demarcation, whereas I really do feel like the pop culture of the last 30 years, the stuff that's lasted, still feels current. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, obviously it would be alien to the extent that, I mean, if forget my kids, if you or I got plunked back into 1990, we would have a learning curve. Because we are used to
Yeah.
the modern
I think-
convenience, you know?
I need you to tell me that to realize it, because I would be like, no, I was there. But
Yeah.
you're right. Like I reach for my phone an embarrassing amount
Right.
during the day. You know,
Exactly.
I lean on things that I would probably completely forget. You know,
Right.
and to a much lesser degree. I mean, if I were to turn on the television, I'd be like, you know, did someone put like Vaseline all over the screen? It looks like garbage. You know? So
Right. No, I mean, the fact that Marty just shows up at this school
right,
and no one is like, who is that?
right.
Like, I'm like, is that what it was like in the 50s?
I don't know. Yeah.
So Crispin Glover is
Yes.
easily the co-lead of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
In many ways, he is the main character of this movie, in that it's George who has the arc.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just listening to a podcast where someone was saying that, and I was like, yeah, because it's thrown around a lot that this is a perfect movie, but Marty doesn't really have an arc that is visible on screen necessarily. Right? Like, he does have his self-doubt. By the way, the Edward Van Halen, they had to add Edward because Van Halen didn't give the permission.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so that's a great shot, isn't it, too, by the way? The sort of dynamic looking
it's
light
perfect.
coming from the window. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, it's really, yeah, it's George's movie, and you have Marty with the self-doubt and all these things, but it's through him helping other people with their arcs. He probably is going to be a changed person. His life is going to change after the movie,
Right.
you know? Look at that little foreshadow with the skateboards right there, too.
Nice. Yeah.
Great. Sorry, I hope I didn't hijack your thought, but I just I
No,
agree
no,
with you.
you ran with it. So that's, yeah.
I love this too that he can't open the bottle, and George has to do it.
Yeah, it's like he's super cool, and yet he's still a fish out of water.
Yeah,
He is such a dork. You wonder, like, how Marty turned out so cool.
I know. This is so great. So then, yeah, now we're back at the Universal lot. But we didn't point out too. It's you know, there's the funny parallels too, where you have the Texaco, right, in this, where it's the full service, right,
Right.
and then in Back to the Future Part 2, it's the robots doing
Right.
full service, and they just really built a world, right, where there's just so many markers that they
Yes.
could play with the different periods of time.
And I mean, that's kind of the thing. They very smartly, in terms, now we're expanding beyond the world of this one movie into the sequels. I mean, all three movies feed back and forth in a way that's fun and really is kind of quote unquote fan servicey, without puncturing the reality of the world that they create.
Yeah, they created a universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love this. Give me a milk. Chocolate. And it just immediately lands in his hand. I mean, that's the cartoon part of this. You
Right.
know? But it's like, yeah. It's hilarious. I never noticed Marty in the background watching him between those
Yeah.
kids. This is so great. Your density.
What's interesting here to me is Lorraine is not like blowing him off.
Yeah. She's listening.
Like,
She's like, what are you saying?
There's something there. Mm-hmm. It's just waiting for the right moment or right circumstance to come out. But I always found that interesting. She's not like, ew, what are you doing?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you can see that happening in a different version of this movie.
Yeah.
Right? But
Yes, right, right.
They need to establish that Lorraine is a kind person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think these are little things that really stick out on multiple viewings.
There's so much thought through on this. Yeah. So now this, let me trip some. So I guess this is funny too. I think it's Michael J. Fox's eyes, right? When his the shoulder goes up.
Yep.
And he's just like, whoa. So the punch apparently landed on Biff here is Eric Stoltz.
Okay. So real quick, I want to mention, the guy who has the 3D glasses. He's
Yes.
played by I think it's pronounced Simasco, Casey Simasco.
Okay.
And he's in Stand By Me, but he's also in The Phantom, starring Billy Zane.
Buds.
Right, Biff Buds.
Biff Buds. And I guess in Back to the Future 3, when Needles is trying to race Marty in the truck, it's a whole collection of Biff gangs throughout the centuries.
Really?
It's like one from 50, one from the Old West, one from the future.
They just threw that in there as like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
How funny.
I'm always impressed. This scene is really exciting. But when you really think about it, and not to ruin it, but I mean, it's just kind of moving in a square.
Yep.
They only have this like backlot, but they found a really exciting way to stage it and to come up with these complications, right? Where, him walking over the car is friggin' rad. Like, that's a great, cool stunt, right?
Well, and the thing here, like, because right now, and I know you can hear it in your head, you got Alan Silvestri's music just really pulsating. And imagine a composer coming in and giving it like a humorous underscore.
Yes.
It would totally change the tone.
Yeah. It actually gets very serious here, which I kind of like.
Yeah, exactly.
Like his life's kind of in peril.
And then here comes another trope that one of
Yes.
who knew that a shit pile would be one of the most beloved parts of a film series, right?
And I feel like there's something else I'm going to point out. I don't remember. But the Hot Wheels makes these movie cars.
Okay.
And it's not even they legit made Biff's car with the manure in it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Like, it wasn't something like some fan made as a joke. Like, Hot Wheels was like, yeah, let's do it. So Marty invents the skateboard.
And that too, right? Like the skateboard sequence. I think you could, granted the film establishes him skateboarding when he goes to the mall, right? But the opening sequence shows how good he is at skateboarding.
That's right. You're right. Because he's hanging onto the truck and yeah.
Because back then everybody was skateboarding. Well, in your case, people are still skateboarding, obviously, but like,
yeah, well, sure. It's kind of come back in recent years, it seems.
It has, yeah. But mid '80s certainly to me feels like a time where it was really like, all over the place. So the fact that he's sort of a cut above,
yes,
in his skills, that's an important part of it.
Yeah, and talking about kids being influenced by movies. We definitely tried to grab onto the back of a car. I didn't because I'm not crazy. But my friend's older brother, he grabbed onto the back of an ice cream truck.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we were just like, wow, look at him go.
How did it worked out all right for him?
Well, yeah, he was, I guess, kind of smart because it's a slow-moving vehicle.
An ice cream truck.
Obviously stupid. Not recommended.
Not the back of a police car.
No. Yeah. This is a great joke. Sorry I didn't have time to build it to scale. This incredibly elaborate model of the town. Great joke. Now, and this is great too because we as an audience kind of need this. We are seeing what's going to happen, right? Like it looks like this. There's going to be a cable over here. Like we can now have this in our brains. So when we see him later in the street, we know what's going to happen. But they do a good job of subverting it and having the car, burst into flames. So we're like, oh. This might not go well.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of, and I've talked about this before, the Raiders of the Lost Ark exposition scene.
Yes,
where you're literally laying out for the audience exactly what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So that it's you're handing them a map saying this is where we're going to end up.
Right.
And sometimes you need to do that.
Yeah, and if you do it in such a way where you don't realize that they're doing it to you, congratulations.
Yeah. It helps that Doc Brown is the type of character who would lay this stuff out,
Yes.
Yes. And in the second one, he literally draws on a chalkboard a map letting the audience know exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Like you imagine the writers probably did to the studio trying to convince him it makes sense. Great reaction out of Doc there too. I've seen that as like murals on buildings and tattoos and stuff.
So funny. Now, Christopher Lloyd, by this point, had become most famous for being Jim on Taxi.
Right. Which I kind of missed. I'm aware of it, but I never really saw that.
You would like it. It's a good show.
Yeah.
And he had also played the villain in Star Trek 3 the year before.
Before this.
Before this.
Yeah.
He was a Klingon. Mm-hmm. And it's, I watched Star Trek 3 after sort of knowing Christopher Lloyd primarily as Doc, So when he's like, Captain Kirk, you have to do this, I'm like, yeah, you're Doc.
Right.
You're Doc.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say, because I didn't see this movie until later, the first time I saw him was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then only later it was like, because of Robert Zemeckis and the connection,
Yep. And speaking of, he's so different in that. I was going to say, speaking of, that reminds me of another little bit of trivia. With the title, it doesn't have a question mark at the end of it because the studio thought nobody would want to see a movie with a question mark in the title.
These are strange decisions that studios
Isn't that so funny? Yeah.
I mean, it's with, speaking of Zemeckis, didn't he do the Mars, what was it, Mars Needs Moms or something? Wasn't that him?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And how famously that movie was such a big flop, the studios are like, no more Mars in movie titles.
Yep. By the way, I just got to point out, look at the actors here. She is like on fire here. Look at Doc. Huh?
You're right.
Giving him that look. And then Marty doing his sort of backing into Doc. And that's the other thing, too, where you go into the great direction and the sort of the cartoonishness, the way that, in real life, you wouldn't like just lean back on your
right
your friend like that. But it just works.
It's heightened reality.
It's heightened reality. But it just makes whatever you're supposed to be feeling in that scene completely come across.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's just fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like I saw, there's like a still shot of Stoltz in this scene here with his dad. With his dad, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Stoltz looks more like Crispin Glover than Michael J. Fox does.
That's a good point. It's interesting, too. I noticed in some of those pictures with Stoltz that he's wearing different wardrobe.
Right, yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
When you think of Marty now, it's iconic. You have that red, puffy jacket, and it's a big joke in the film, but Stoltz was wearing this sort of black jacket and, like a t-shirt, and it's just very different. It's kind of interesting.
It's hard to critique him or his casting, but you do, yeah, like you said, you wonder what is that alternate reality Marty? What does he look like?
Oh, if I could watch just the first act of this film, just for, I don't know, it's just interesting, it's not even like a saying anything bad about Stoltz. It's just a curiosity factor. I don't know.
It's a little like, this is not exactly the same, but there was a different Danny Tanner before Bob Saget.
Sure.
And when you watch that guy's footage, you feel bad for him because like he's doing his thing, but you're like, well, that's not Danny Tanner,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, here's the scene where I'm always like, oh shoot, we're here.
Right.
like the fun in the 50s is over. Like now the plot's got to go into motion.
That's kind of the interesting thing. You've got 90-minute movies that feel like they're 2.5 hours long.
Right.
And then you've got a 2.5 hour or 2 hour movie that feels like it's 90 minutes.
Yeah. You're also making me realize too, I wonder how many more gags and set pieces they had in their minds, of having this 80s kid in the 50s, but they're like, no time.
Right.
We just keep, this thing's got to chug. So this is great. This is a great little conundrum, It's like, well, Marty wants to tell him what's going to happen. It's like it's a fun little thing. When you see this for the first time, where you're probably getting really frustrated that Doc won't listen to him.
The idea of ending at a nuclear test site.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to criticize because we don't know what that movie would have looked like.
Yeah.
And for all we know, it would have been amazing. But the reason to me it just right away it doesn't work is the movie has done such a good job of making Hill Valley a world unto itself.
Yeah, sure.
And so it stands to reason that whatever solution arrives has to be something within Hill Valley.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think of something like Bill and Ted, which I love that it's this phone booth, but it's ridiculous. I mean, what they do with the phone booth, where it goes and whatnot. But yeah, I like the sort of reality that they've created here. I mean, they're using nothing fantastic or anything that we couldn't possibly get our hands on, right? It's ingenuity. And we got to harness a bolt of lightning. And, and that sequence too is just so thrilling, and it's so lo-fi, really. I mean, it's just a guy trying to connect cables, like I said.
Right.
And it's just, and you got to wonder if they even thought they were possibly losing something, some spectacle, when they
Right.
didn't have the huge bomb going off. But I showed the movie to a friend maybe 2 years ago who'd never seen it. I couldn't believe it. So I showed it to them. And that scene where Doc's hanging from the clock tower, she turned to me and was like, "Are you freaking out?" and I was like, "Wow, it's working." Like it's just so understandable what's happening, and you can picture yourself dangling from there. And a thing, you've had something dangle from your shoe where you're like, "Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall."
Yeah.
So you can put yourself in that scenario. And I told her, I was like, every time I get tense when I watch this scene. So it's, again, yeah, I wonder if they thought maybe they were losing something, but really I think they landed with the best possible ending.
I mean, I think this is, this is something that I remember the first time I heard it was Nicholas Meyer, who wrote and directed Star Trek II. He said, the absence of limitations is the enemy of art.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer of like, well, we want to do this, but this is what we have available.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do? Let's figure this out. And that push and pull between the artistic desire and just the reality of what you have available can allow for, and I say can allow, not does allow, but can allow for something amazing, for something truly timeless, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
And we see so many examples of that in so many different things.
It's like some movies demand spectacle, right? But this movie just knows itself.
Yeah.
And so all of that works within the reality that we're presented with here. Enchantment Under the Sea Dance. So this is in the basement. I cannot remember the name of the church, but it's the church, if you've ever, for anyone who's visited Hollywood and Highland, it's the church that's directly behind the I was going to call it the Kodak whatever, but I think it's Dolby now. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you see it, and it's got that AIDS ribbon on its tower, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's where this took place? That's crazy. But then outside, of course, is Whittier High School. This seems very funny and is very uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable, but he, Michael J. Fox plays it the exact right way, where he's embodying the audience's discomfort,
Yes. Yeah. And they handle it as well as they can too. I mean, like, they have this really great moment where she's like, something's wrong about this.
It's like kissing my brother.
And you're like, thank God. Everyone understands here that this is.
That's it. You know what? That's the funny thing, because so many of us watched it when we were kids, mm-hmm. and I don't remember processing it as like ew in the same way when I was a little kid.
I totally agree. It wasn't until I got older I was like, oh yikes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So again, with my kids, I wonder like when is that gonna kick in? It's like oh no,
Yeah. Oh no.
There was a lot of family kissing going on in the 80s between Empire Strikes Back and this.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We're finding some kind of a theme. Now this, I always mention this. I'm like, Biff, no room for debate, attempts to rape Lorraine here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another thing that you don't quite understand or appreciate until you get older, and you're like, oh man, this is like really messed up.
Like, it takes a very dark turn given the rest of the film, but that's 100% what he's trying to do here.
Yeah.
And so the fact that the movie ends with Biff as like, oh, hey, Mr. McFly. And they're like, oh, that Biff. It's like, dude.
Right. And again, it's like, you know, the movie, it's a tightrope in this movie that we've had so much fun. Like you say, it sort of edges on darkness here for a moment. And then it makes it incredibly satisfying when George
Yes.
finds whatever it is that he did have inside him, but never tapped into before, and just lays the crap out of Biff. It's just, I mean, when I've seen it in the theater, I feel it in my body. Like my body tenses up and I just get this sort of pent up feeling. And then when George punches Biff, you just get that relief.
Yes.
You know, and audiences always cheer when that happens. It's just so satisfying.
I mean, think about that. Yeah, because that's one of my memories from the screening 10 years ago is the whole crowd. I mean, this is a crowd of diehard fans. This is the vast majority have seen this before. And yet it is still a cathartic moment.
It's cathartic, yes. And it comes down also to, I mean, think of the direction and the editing. I mean, they linger just long enough. You know, if it goes too fast, you don't feel it. If you go too long, you're dragging it out. But they give you that moment where it wells up inside George and you see the fist ball up, you know, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, snap, this is going to happen. You know, it's just the perfect, it's laid out perfectly for you as an audience to be on board and just feel complete release and satisfaction when it happens.
Well, and just to piggyback off of that, I think when you look at the characterization of George, right, they could have leaned way heavily into his dorkiness.
Yes.
They could have made him Screech from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
But they didn't, right? He's just this side of kind of socially awkward, you know?
Yeah.
Just enough where you do have that sense of empathy for him. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that moment where she's like, George, help me, right? And you're like, come on, George, come on, you can do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's so crucial, you know?
Yep. Yeah, all this, just the... I mean, this is just so doled out so perfectly.
Pop, there you go.
You have to watch it, yeah. and that's the great thing, too, is like, this scenario was created by Marty, but Marty wasn't influencing him.
Yeah.
Like, this was in there.
Right.
Right? And that's why the psychology of this movie is so interesting, too, is, you know, Lorraine first fell for him because she felt bad for him.
Right.
Right? And so he was allowed to just be this sort of pushover.
Right.
And like here, he like defended her, and now, you know, he fought for her. Like he earned...
She admires him.
She admires him, yeah. And he has dug up something that's never been there before, so now he is a different person. But it was there.
Right.
It was there. And it all tracks. So like when they're different in the future, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. They just had a different encounter.
And the beauty of it is it's because of what Marty said when you put your mind to it, there's no telling what you can accomplish. Which is...
Wait, say that again?
There's no telling what you can accomplish when you put your mind to it.
Right. The storm. That's kind of funny too that when the Biff's gang's like, you know, don't want to mess with no reefer addicts. I mean, that'd be the 50s where you had that Reefer Madness.
Reefer
movie,
Madness, right?
Yeah.
Which, for those of you who have not seen Reefer Madness, Google Reefer Madness. I don't feel like talking about it, but it's like this propaganda movie about how
to
bad
scare kids about
marijuana,
the effects of marijuana. Yeah, and it involves, I think, a kid freaking out and jumping out a window to his death. And like,
you know what? That reminds me for some reason of that Simpsons the documentary about zinc.
Yes. Yeah.
Zinc.
Yeah. Doesn't he like reach for a gun too? Because he doesn't want to live in a world without zinc. And like, sorry, but zinc's used in the firing pin of that handgun. You know what I love too about this scene? This scene is necessary also, where the kid cuts in and takes Lorraine away because old George might have let that happen. But like, no, it's been awakened. New George has been awakened. And so we know it's going to stick. Right.
Yeah, and that's a great point.
We need it. We need it tested.
I always thought it'd be funny, like when George comes back, he like shanks him. And it's like, oh my God, what's happened?
Yeah. And Lorraine likes it. I think I was on the commentary or something I was listening to. That shot where you can see through Marty's hand, which doesn't look great. I think that got finished a week before it went into theaters, and Zemeckis and Gale were like, crap. Like, they just knew they hadn't got it right. That's the one thing they watch now where they're like, well, we had 10 weeks. What do you want?
By the way, I just want to mention with George and Lorraine, I remember within the past year or so, my kids were asking my wife, they're like, oh, how did you and Dad meet? And she's kind of telling the story. And then she tells, like, oh, we met here and whatever. And then she's like, and then I knew I'd spend the rest of my life with him.
Really?
And I was like, amused yet worried.
Yeah. That's hilarious. And we've got some great flourish here from Silvestri over Earth Angel. It's just beautiful. The strings.
Yeah, it connects with the song in a really nice way.
Mm-hmm. And when I hear the original without it now, I'm like, it feels like it's
missing. Totally. I have a Back to the Future playlist in my iTunes, and it's like the original version of the song, and I'm like, oh wait, we need that part.
Now, Gale and Zemeckis will point out that this is the only scene in the movie that does not push the story forward, where Marty's playing Johnny B. Good. But apparently it did so well at the test screening that they're like, well, people love it. And now you're like, really? I can't imagine the movie without it.
Well,
so great.
I mean, let's think about that. I mean,
you absolutely, like, logically taking emotion out of it, you could take it out. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe you're going somewhere different. But I was going to say, it is satisfying.
Does it connect with... Does it respond to the Huey Lewis thing in the beginning where he says, you're too damn loud, or too damn loud?
Yeah, and he gets to play on a stage
like
he wanted. So it does satisfy something for Marty.
Something, yeah.
Although it's like 2.5 minutes where the story doesn't progress.
Yeah, no, okay, I can dig
Which,
it.
who cares? I mean, because it's so much fun and everyone loves it. But you can, it just shines a light on how every scene in this movie pushes this story forward, and they still manage to figure out how to make it fun. But this, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
This scene.
Now, maybe this is just common knowledge, and I just don't know it. But is Michael J. Fox dubbed here, or is that him actually singing?
I believe that was dubbed for Stoltz.
Really?
Yeah, which is why it's a little jarring.
That's interesting.
I did always wonder that too.
Okay.
You're just like, they couldn't have found a guy that sounded just a bit more like Michael J. Fox. But yeah, that's my understanding of it, at least.
Okay,
this is a fun little gag. Marvin Berry, you know that new sound you've been looking for? Well, listen to this. And this is just such like a fun progression too, where it's like he's getting to Showboat. I remember just as a kid, it still makes me laugh, but as a kid, just watching the band members slowly like starting to lose him.
What's going on with this guy?
And then when he like kicks the amp over, it's hilarious.
I also love how, thanks to the context of the second one, you could imagine other Marty crawling around in the rafters, and
Yeah, Spycraft Marty with
Right.
the hat and the jacket, like above the catwalk up there. Dude, the band members' faces are so funny. I've always been watching him. I'm starting to watch them more.
Yeah.
That when he kicks the amp, that cracks me up. On the piano player, I never noticed him jerk back. Like, what the hell? That's great.
Now, Michael J. Fox, worth mentioning, we talked about how he was on Family Ties. That show obviously became a huge hit. And I think when Back to the Future came out, it was one of those instances where Michael J. Fox had the #1 show and the #1 movie at the same time.
Yeah.
And you got to admire the fact that he stuck with the show the entire time, didn't try to bolt. And obviously the people running the show knew what they had.
Yeah.
But, the entire 7 seasons of that show, he remained on it. You got to respect that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he could have tried to bolt.
Because that show ended in '89, spring of '89.
It's kind of interesting too, where I remember my parents liking him. Like if he came out with a movie like Doc Hollywood, my parents wanted to see it.
Yeah,
but
my dad.
Me being and me being a kid, obviously I liked this movie, and I liked him. You know, he was kind of just generally appealing to everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's at least part of the reason why he remains so beloved even now.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, I may have told this story on the regular show, but what the hell? This is our Back to the Future commentary, so I guess I can talk about it here. And maybe I'm sure you know this, but a couple of years ago there was this is some kind of anniversary panel, so maybe the 30th anniversary, so 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there was the Silicon Valley Comic-Con was happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was press. So this is maybe like 3 years ago. Anyway, I was there as press, and I had a seat at the Back to the Future panel. So Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Leah Thompson were there. Okay, so now I had to go interview this ensemble from this one show, and then I had to rush to the Back to the Future panel, and so I'm trying to get across this crowded hall. So I get out of this interview, and I head over. I go to the elevator. The elevator door is closing, and I hit the button. Door opens, and standing there, staring right back at me, is Michael J. Fox.
Wow.
And we make eye contact, and I just stand there like a deer in headlights, and I say, I'll get the next one. And the door closes, and then it goes up, and I'm standing there for about 5 seconds, and then I think to myself, why didn't I just get on the elevator? And that will haunt me for the rest of my days.
Man. Dude, that's crazy.
That's my.
He's like one of those people. I've seen a lot of celebrities, obviously, working in the movies and all that stuff that I've done, but like, there are certain people that don't feel like I'd ever bump into in real life. Like, they just exist on screen, right?
Yeah.
And I think, for me, Michael J. Fox is one of those. It'd be so weird to see him in person. I'm like, nah, like, you exist.
It's weird because I to this day, I'm like, even if I got on the elevator, I wouldn't have been like, oh my god. I'd just be like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
You know? And I'm like, why didn't I? That was weird, you know?
Yeah.
Now, this here, by the way, is we talk about Marty not having much of an arc or whatever, and that's partly true, but I think the emotional undercurrent of his relationship with Doc is so meaningful, and that's why this hug here means so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think we all feel that frustration when he tears up the letter.
Yes.
You're like, oh, what are you doing? You know?
You know, that makes me think, yeah, there's another version of this movie where they know each other, but they're not, like, close. Right? So he's almost stuck with this wacky guy and trying to get along with him as much as he can because he needs his help. But having them be so tight is just so emotionally satisfying.
I think what you're saying really speaks to the era in which this movie existed, where there was more earnestness, you know?
Mm.
I think you know, we sort of live in a post-Scream age.
Yes. Wow, good reference too. You're right. That does feel like a marker.
Everything has to be sarcastic and pointing out how weird it is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, okay, the thing with the letter, what's so clever is we never see him, like, throw it away.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. He gets distracted.
See his hand in his pocket.
Oh, he just put it. Yeah, he just put it in his pocket.
Right?
Yeah, good call.
Right? And again, it's not something where we zoom in on him putting the pieces in, you know?
You're right. You could imagine an insert shot of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
and you might not think anything of it, but it's just this
all
movie
there. If you're willing to give it a look, it's all the pieces fit together.
Yeah. Huh, good point. Man, I've seen this movie so many times. For some reason, this moment, I had this memory, like I said, of taping it off TV and watching it on a Saturday morning, and my dad just coming out and joining me. And I remember this moment for some reason. And that's, you know, I just feel like that's another reason why this movie exists in such like a weird sort of space. Not weird, but a special space, is that, like I said, I saw it when I was 5. And I have had feelings for it my whole life. My parents love it. And I remember when it came out on video, being with my grandparents, and we went and rented it. And my grandparents loved it. And it's just that weird anomaly of a movie where it just, even though it stars this teen, but like you said, he's kind of just young person, right? And like Doc is kind of just older guy, you know? And it's characters that are compelling enough, and the story is compelling enough and adventurous enough, but not crazy to lose you. Like, every single quadrant, every generation can watch this movie and feel something and enjoy it. And that's just, how many movies can you name like that?
Yeah.
I remember that coming out on VHS, and I was so excited to rent it. I love this too. By the way, when he slides across the car, I totally tried that when I was a kid. Does not work quite like that.
Doesn't quite work.
Not on my mom's Honda.
Oh, no.
By the way, I just learned literally 2 weeks ago when he goes to the starting line here and he spins around. That is the street that leads up to the Greek Theater at Griffith Park. So I've walked past it several times. I had no idea, and I just learned that. And then I walked past it again, and I was like, "Wow!" And there are people like there staring at the Greek Theater, and I was staring at this lamppost, like, "That's the starting line." Like, not even kidding.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So he loses, he breaks the cement there on the there it is. Pretty cool. So when he breaks the ledge there, the concrete on the ledge, you can see that in the later 1985. That's still missing from the ledge.
What's interesting is that the time travel rules that are established in this movie, like they remain pretty consistent within the film. Mm-hmm. Of cause and effect. You change something in the past, you change something in the future. I think as the series goes on, it gets a little more bonkers.
Example.
Well, I mean, I
believe you. I'm just curious what
I've said before that to me, in Back to the Future 3, what feels like a big plot hole that nobody's ever addressed is that Marty goes back in time. Marty tells 1955 Doc, "Hey, I got to go back in time to rescue you." Mm-hmm. And then he goes back in time and meets 1985 Doc, who's like, "Marty, what are you doing here?"
So you think maybe... So wasn't that Looper, where you get like a headache and then it catches up with what's shifted?
I mean, that would make sense.
Right. So you imagine they would eventually, like, his eyes would roll back into his head and then they'd come back and he'd be like, "Oh, right. Okay, yeah, let's go."
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think what this movie establishes is that you have the picture that's emblematic of the timeline gradually changing.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, Doc, like that, the changed future would eventually catch up to him, the changed past. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Maybe, I don't know. But you'd think about this too long.
Do you imagine there's like a scene that could exist in the movie where they cut to 1985 while Marty is in 55 and his siblings are disappearing, going, "What is happening?"
Right.
The brothers walking around with no head, like the dad from Onward, like just
That's
bumping
hilarious.
into things, and the sisters freaking out.
To that point, I think that itself is very interesting, how they really allow 1985 to just be the framing sequence for the movie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think that's much more meaningful because it gives us a clear before and after.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I mean, Marty is our, no pun intended, he's our vehicle into the past, so we stay with him. So we're experiencing the story from his point of view.
Yep.
And now that being said, and I guess we can talk about it more when we get there to the new 1985, which is, well, there is a version of Marty who that is his life, that is his normal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he's the Marty who, when this Marty goes back, he sees him disappear.
Right.
So what happens to that Marty?
I don't know.
Where does he end up?
I know. I don't know.
Right. Kind of makes your head hurt when you think about it.
I know. Time travel is just crazy. That's with movies. Like, I never get... Sometimes people get kind of caught up in it, and I'm just like, it's just easier. Just the movie's telling me this is what it is. As long as I'm with this movie, then I'll go with that. And your next time travel movie, just tell me what it is. I'll go with that. By the way, when that cable comes undone and Doc screams, I think the whole audience laughs because we're feeling the same thing. Like, ah!
Right.
This scene is just so energized, and it's not even shot in some crazy manner. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just conveyed, and it is completely received.
Well, I mean, the fact that a lightning
score,
bolt,
too, we gotta say.
The score, obviously. And, that lightning bolt right there is your big effects sequence for Act 2.
Yeah. Yep. And just even seeing Doc make the connection and then the bolt, through his hands is just so great. And then, you get this really quiet moment. The sound design here is so great, and you just hear his footsteps and he's like freaking out because it worked.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So now just imagine Marty running in from behind him.
Yes. Wait, I just sent you back to the future. That's right, you did send me back. But I'm back. I'm back from the future. That's great. Cut back to the tower. We got the concrete missing, and then we got the helicopter.
See, again, that is just one of those things where that's there. It's there for multiple viewings.
Mm-hmm. I never saw it until I was way older. Oh, and then Gail brings up this story a lot, but the bench that the homeless man is on has raisins on it.
Okay.
Because some sort of raisins council said they wanted to be featured for advertising in their film. Like, they thought that was going to be a big thing.
Weird.
And so they're like, okay. So California Raisins is on that bench for that reason. I don't know about you, but I don't really like raisins.
I'm not a fan. Not a fan of raisins.
No.
My wife was making Afghan rice the other day, of which raisins are a key ingredient. And I found it deeply upsetting.
I'd rather just have a grape. Honestly.
I'd like it before it's desiccated. A decomposed grape. No thanks.
Yeah. So now you brought this up. This is really good because we know that the car doesn't work that great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had the problem with it in 55. So it's not just this, okay, that's a great movie.
Right.
You need it to work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Time travel takes a lot out of it.
I also love that van has been established as so distinctive.
Yeah, good call. Good call. So when we see it, we don't even need to know.
Yeah.
We don't need to see any faces. We're like, oh, shit, like the blue van.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, same shot, him coming down, but now he's exhausted.
And it's
And
Lone
we get
Pine Mall,
it's the
but whatever.
exact same shot. Lone Pine Mall. Great.
I love his mouth opens and we hear other Marty.
Yes. Yes. Say it for him.
It's so perfect.
No joke, just because I'm such a nerd. This part where he watches and then he tumbles down, kind of fumbles down the foliage there or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I park my car every time because it delights me to no end.
Now, I remember watching this the first time
Yeah.
and being absolutely crushed. I was like, oh, wow.
Yes.
He couldn't save Doc.
Yep.
And being
Yep.
so goddamn happy to see him get up.
Yes. It's so wonderful. And the way he kind of flutters his eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is when you think about it, Doc being like, oh, what the hell? I mean, it's in defiance of everything we've known about that character,
Yes. Yes.
right? And yet, it doesn't matter for us because it is such an earned, joyful moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll learn, it can become kind of consistent with his character, particularly with Clara in the third movie. It's like he has a heart too. He's not just, he knows what's best, but he's also a human being. So I'm sure curiosity got the best of him. And thank goodness.
Yeah, right?
So great. No words too. I love it. I mean, it's just so well, yeah.
I mean, think about how well this movie has established their relationship,
Yeah.
by itself. I mean, again, we're talking like 35 years later, there's a trilogy, there's a cartoon show, and it was just Doc and Marty is just what we think of, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of that exists within the four corners of this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. It was
Right?
all here. We didn't
It's-
need sequels to flesh it out. Like,
Yeah.
it's here. Figured, what the hell? It's great. I gotta tell you, man, when you go visit the McFly house, there's nothing like driving down this street. You know it immediately.
It was surreal.
It's surreal. I mean, the house you start recognizing the neighbor houses, and you didn't realize you had them in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
And the trees too, because at the end of this film, when they fly away, you're like, oh, those are the trees. Like it's crazy.
It was, you know, occasionally when I go back to Chicago, if I'm in the vicinity of where I used to live, where my parents' house used to be, I'll just kind of drive by and I'll look at my old house. I'll be like, man, I used to live there, you know, and I have this weird kind that's what it felt like
Yeah.
being in this neighborhood.
Yes. Yeah. And that's how I feel at that mall. I think that's why I like going there so much. Now this is in 2. Oh, they come back from the future, and then he drops him off, and then he goes in. It's not his house.
Right.
I love that too, by the way, that we don't even see the car. We don't need any more visual effects. It just drives off screen, and then a bunch of big lights go off.
Right. Oh, yeah, we got
It's so great.
The language is already established.
It's weirdly more satisfying too. You know, like just down the road, and then Marty covering his eyes, like, okay,
We get it.
yeah,
And here we hear Back in Time, the Huey Lewis
Yep.
song.
Huey Lewis.
Which was, by the
Huey
way,
Lewis, right? He was. Oh, go ahead.
well, I was just saying that was also the theme song for the Back to the Future animated show. It was Back in Time.
Oh, really?
It was a cover. It wasn't by Huey Lewis, but it
Sure,
was.
but hey, still gotta pay him.
Yeah.
I was just gonna point out Huey. Oh, he was asked right to do the song for Ghostbusters, turned it down. They basically ripped him off, and then he realized all the money he lost out on. So when they asked him for this, he's like, "Yeah, all right," and that worked out quite well. We
Worked
got
out okay.
Classic. Yeah.
Now, again, the fact that they're just very well off, yet they live in the exact same house.
Yes, and I mean, I don't know why the brother's in a suit in their house reading Forbes. You know, I mean, how old is he? It's like, you know what? Sure.
I mean, there is a critique to be had, and this might be, in fact, be one of the critiques that Crispin Glover lodged. He's like, the movie equates, wealth with happiness.
Which is fair. And
I think that is a fair critique. I agree.
Because I maybe because I don't find this house appealing or whatever. Like to me, it's just like it's fresher looking. It's brighter. His parents seem happier. So it's when it's the truck feels like this reward at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. It's not like his life, he wins just because he got that truck.
Right.
But that also feels, I think Gale's addressed that too, where he's like, it's very 80s.
See, I mean, I think to me, what we see with George and Lorraine in New 1985 is the love that they have for each other.
Yes. They're still infatuated with each other.
Right, exactly. They're still infatuated with each other, and that because of the difference of how their relationship started.
Yes.
See, again, here, it's like, hey, guy who tried to rape my wife,
I know.
are you trying to con me? Like, that's weird, you know?
It is. But you know what? It took me years and years and years to get there. I mean, it sort of works on a surfacey level where it's like you enjoy seeing the bully humble.
Right.
Right? But yeah, when you stop to think about it, it's like,
It's kind of horrifying.
could you have got the other guy to
Yeah,
wash the
right.
car?
It's like, we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for him. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this, too, is very funny because minus the sequels, you're just like, all right, so Biff is kind of this lovable goofball now.
Right.
And then with part 2, you're like, oh no, he's like the big bad. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as part 2 started, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. I remember seeing that in the theater and being like, oh, dang. like, I haven't heard him talk like that.
That's right. Now, all of this, they had to reshoot.
Yes.
Because Claudia Wells did not come back.
Yes, which was sadly for reasons her mother was ill.
Yeah.
So she decided, I mean, of course, made the right decision to be with her mother rather than do a movie. But yes, so then they had to, I'm sure that sucks for her, you know.
Yeah.
She had, kind of like more to do in that film. And Elizabeth Shue was totally fine. You know, I don't know. It's just different.
I don't think Elizabeth Shue as Jennifer is particularly necessary in any of it.
What do you mean?
In the sense that I don't think, it's not I'm not saying Elizabeth Shue is bad. I'm just like, they don't really give her much to do.
No. And I mean, that's something that Bob Gale's brought up also.
Right.
That this was just a joke to end the movie on.
Right.
And he didn't realize that they were actually going to have to make a story out of this gag. And so he's like, well, then we got to figure out what to do with the girlfriend. And then they end up, it's kind of...
He said, he's like, people just assume you end it with a sequel in mind. He's like, if we had a sequel in mind, we would never have put Jennifer in the car.
Right.
Because that was business that we had to figure out. Now, what's interesting is, Brian, I saw this, and like I said, it was like 90. And the version I saw, and what I assumed was always the case, was it ended with the DeLorean taking off, and then it says to be continued.
Yes, right. And I think that was probably starting with the VHS.
Yes.
In the theaters, I'm sure it didn't say that.
It did not
Well,
say
obviously it didn't say that, yeah.
Because, so, when the first DVD set came out, which is, I think, 2002, that was the first time that it was put out on home video as originally released.
Mm-hmm.
And they made a point of mentioning that. Like, yeah, this is how it was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, the truth of it is, if you end right here, there's never a trilogy, there's nothing, you've got a beginning, middle, and end. Boom, you've got it. You can imagine the story. And I say that as an adult. I don't know how I would have perceived that as a kid. I don't know did kids who watched it well, you know, because you were a kid. When you watched it when it first came out, were you like, well, what happens next?
I don't, if I'm being honest, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I doubt it. I don't know that my mind, well, I was pretty young, but I don't know that I would have thought that they were setting something up. I think I just thought it was funny. Like, I just thought it was cool that the car could fly now, I guess. Does that make sense? You know, like, I just took whatever it was at face value. Yeah, I probably wasn't thinking.
Right. But you were just a dumb kid, so whatever.
Oh, yeah. If you had only known. Zachy.
I know. Look at that.
This movie's just like pure joy.
This
Just a shot of pure joy.
Blazed through Back to the Future.
You know, we had someone that I worked with who had never seen this movie, and it's really cool because my office has a screening room. So when she hadn't seen a film, we would, be like, all right, well, we're going to screen it.
Yeah.
And I just found, I mean, when I told that story earlier too about the other person I showed this to, I mean, this movie has never not worked on the people who are seeing it now in the 2000s. And so, I mean, I was just sort of reflecting on it before we were talking about it. And I was asked by my coworkers to introduce this movie to her. And I said, you know what? I'll say it. I think this is one of the greatest movies of all time. And I know it's like a really lofty statement, but I feel like, that category wasn't closed for greatest movies 50 years ago, right?
Right.
I think Citizen Kane is brilliant and innovative. I think Ben-Hur is a staggering achievement.
Yeah.
But like, if you were to sit a person down and show them Ben-Hur and Back to the Future, like, achievements aside, I mean, which movie do you think is going to like engage them and be a more satisfying experience for them? And like, and I'm not saying like to cancel any of those classics out. I'm just saying I think Back to the Future comfortably sits next to any of those greats.
Can't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, Swiss watch script, perfect casting, brilliant direction, brilliant score, and like we said, I've never met a person who hasn't liked it. So it's just, it's a marvel. It's a marvel. I pity anyone who's gonna make the remake in 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah, we probably won't be around when that happens, and if it does, we'll be willfully ignoring it. So.
Yep. Right.
But I think that is a good place to wrap up this conversation. The nice thing, Brian, is we're not done talking about Back to the Future.
Oh no,
because we'll be back at some point in maybe a month or so. We'll be talking about Back to the Future Part 3. And
spoiler, we talk about how much we love these. I think that movie is way underappreciated.
I 100% agree.
Yep.
So we'll have more to say about that. Our next commentary track is going to be Darkman. So get your homework done, Brian.
I have not seen that since I was at least young teens. Like, I'm very interested.
It's been a while for me too, so this is going to be an interesting deep dive. But I'm looking forward to that too.
Yep.
And of course, we'll be back soon with our next regular episode, which normally our post Labor Day episode is where we look back at all the summer movies that came out.
Wow. Yeah, you're right.
So I have no idea what we're doing next time, but it's happening.
Well, we'll find something. And that's the thing. Well, Tenet comes out this weekend. I'm very curious how that's going to do. I mean, there'll be things. There's stuff.
Yeah. But
The movie news continues.
Our conversation will be different than normal.
Yes.
There won't be a lot of. So, what did you think of Black Widow or whatever?
Yeah.
So
we should look at all the movies that were scheduled to come out and then talk about what we think our conversation would have
what
been
we
like.
think. That would be funny. But if you have any questions or comments for us, any suggestions for future commentaries, we get those from you guys all the time, and those are great. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Twitter at Zacky's Corner, and Brian, of course, is doing his thing with Puppy Dog Pals. Mm-hmm. Have you written any Back to the Future references into Puppy Dog Pals?
Oh, yeah. Oh, most definitely. It's so funny. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But when I was new there, I mean, and it becomes. Oh, I remember. We had a runner. Did you ever think of running for class president? When the woman says that to George, there's the first episode, or one of the first episodes I wrote. Rolly saves the day, and class president would make sense. So I had this dog go, "Do you ever think of running for mayor?" And then it became a runner in one of the seasons where whenever he did something, people were always like, "Do you ever think of running for mayor?"
That's really fun.
They're not super overt, I suppose, but for someone, like you say, who has this movie running on the back of their eyelids.
Yeah.
A lot of like lines and deliveries and things like that.
Well, there you go. That one more reason to go back and watch Puppy Dog Pals episodes.
Yeah.
See all the Easter eggs there. As always, please go to iTunes and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps. On behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zachy Hassan, and we'll be back soon with the Movie Film Podcast. Thanks, everybody.